Fall is my favorite time of year. I love being outside, walking around in the fall. I love watching the leaves change. I think it's really beautiful. Today we're going to make some fall artwork. We are going to make trees. We are going to make fall trees. It's going to look something like this. So first I'm using pastels, but if you wanted to use Sharpies or if you wanted to use crayons with this, that would work just fine. We are going to use some water on it later, so normal markers won't work. And I'm just going to start laying in an area for the ground. I'm just using green. And I'm just going to fill that in the best I can. So what if I told you that if you can make the letter Y from the alphabet, you can draw a tree? Would you believe me? Well, I'm going to show you right now. So first, I'm using a brown pastel, or you can use crayons or Sharpies again, and I'm going to make a giant letter Y. Now, these are going to be my first couple branches. Now, on the end of my branch, I'm going to make another letter Y. It's going to be a little bit smaller than the first Y. And on the other side, I'm going to make another letter Y. Again, going to be a little bit smaller than the first one. And after that, I'm just going to start doing the same thing. On the end of each branch, I'm going to make a letter Y, a little bit smaller than the Y before. And another letter Y on the other branch. And then another letter Y. And then another letter Y. After that, I'm just going to keep going with it, making another letter Y, a little bit smaller, and another Y, and another Y, and another Y, and another Y, then another Y, and another Y, and another Y, and another Y, and another Y. And that's just a lot of times to say Y. Why? Well, why not? This is the Y method for drawing trees. When you break it down to just like that, it's actually pretty easy. If you can make the letter Y, you can draw a tree. Now let's add some of that color that looks so pretty in the fall. What colors do you see? I see reds, and I see oranges, I see browns, and I see yellows. These are the colors we're going to use today. So back to our artwork. We're going to add some colorful leaves, some colorful fall leaves to our Y trees. I am going to use tissue paper. The kind of tissue paper I use is the kind that bleeds. That means the color comes out when I add water to it. There's other kinds of tissue paper that doesn't happen to. But this kind of tissue paper I'm going to use, the colors will come out when I paint it with water. So what I'm doing is I'm just painting down a little bit of water, then I'm putting one of the pieces of tissue paper over the water I painted down. Then I'm going to paint it with more water over the tissue paper. And I'm going to keep doing that. Just adding a little bit of water, putting some tissue paper down, and then painting water over it. Now, it is okay to put tissue paper right over the other tissue paper. Actually, it kind of looks good when you do that because the colors will kind of bleed together and mix. And you'll get colors you didn't expect before. Colors where the yellows and browns and oranges and reds kind of mix together and blend to form some new colors. So I'm going to keep putting on colors until I cover everywhere. Take your time with this. We want to fill up the whole area of the branches. So anywhere you drew a Y is kind of the area that we want to paint the colorful tissue paper with water. So those dyes come out, so those colors come out and give us the illusion of colorful fall leaves. Now, you might be tempted to take some of this tissue paper off while it's still wet. Don't do that. You're going to get better colors if you just kind of let everything dry where it is. It will also get pretty messy if you try to do something like that. So hold off. Just leave it and let it dry. So I've let this dry for a couple hours. Sometimes I just leave them overnight. You can pick the tissue paper off, or if you have a big trash can, you could just shake it off in there. A couple might stick, but you could just take those off by hand. And there you go. Fall trees, just using the Y method of drawing trees and tissue paper. They look great. I had a lot of fun making mine, and I hope you have as much fun making yours as I did. See everybody later. This is Mr. Walden. Goodbye.